Hello, and welcome back to another Fishy Plant Man production. I'm filming the 75-gallon tank because it appears to have broken the chlorine cycle. Up until now, I know I made a mistake in another video, I didn't catch it. It's there. But it never smelled of ammonia. It smelled of chlorine. Well, now it seems to have finally broken that cycle. And, well, it's kind of like the tank has been born and it can start maturing now. So, that's why I wanted to shoot that. It's a little cloudy. Like I say, it just seems to have broken or has nearly broken that chlorine, because I didn't put any dechlorinators or anything in it. Not much of a point. I figured the plants were strong enough, not to mention free. I can just put in a few more. For some reason, killing plants isn't as bad as killing actual critters. So yeah, I didn't put any dechlorinator or anything in there. I just asked the plants to lump it. And I don't know, they seem to be doing okay with that. Buried a little bit deep, but they didn't want to stay down otherwise. So, yep, a little cloudy, no dechlorinators or anything. I just waited. But we should be able to start the cycle now. I think there should be, I haven't done a test yet, maybe tomorrow. I think a little bit of ammonia is starting to form, and we're on our way. So I'll wait for more development and talk to you some more later. Alright, it is this bit of Christmas cactus that has led me to believe that this is, in theory, possible. This is the definition of a low-tech tank. It doesn't even have a dedicated light. It's got, that growing out the top of it. That one over there is quite a bit older. The other one, that sad phalaenopsis, but no light of its own. There's one of the suns. When I was talking about the 7 suns, there's one of those in the ceiling, but the tank itself doesn't have its own light. So this is growing in very low light conditions. And it looks like it's lost one, but that little growth there grew in the water, a little bit different than immersed, submerged, a little different than it naturally grows. And there's the other one, still growing skinny, bit longer, but still growing skinny. And for some reason, we seem to have lost the third one that was growing out of that little crevice there. Not quite sure what happened, but that new growth has been lost. So, as a floating plant, it grows slowly, at least in low light conditions. If you can call this low light, it's almost no light. This little corner here is getting some ambient light from one of the 10 gallons. So it's a little bit brighter than... But this plant's been floating over on the other side where the light is worse. It is very slowly growing. 2 things I want to know. As a floating plant, how much better will it do in the high-tech tank that at least has a low-tech light on it already? Well, we'll go back over to the low-tech tank. Probably been enjoying watching my young fish. Oh, look at him. But we'll go over to the low-tech tank. There is a point to this video after all. Okay. This piece has not converted at all. I picked it off of one of my plants and put it in here on day 2 or something. So it hasn't really converted. It is showing red, but it lived up until it went into this tank over in my east-facing window. So that's how it got its red. It seems to be lightening up a little, but here's the questions. Okay, how can it do as a floating plant in the high-tech tank with more light? This was not supposed to come back over. Yeah, it's things to create ammonia. So how will it do with more light? And at some point, if, I can get that to start growing, there's a little bit there too. The single leaf doesn't seem to convert. You seem to need multiple leaves. According to the one that has started to grow, you need at least 4 leaves. I think side branches are probably good. I don't know if that affects anything or not. At least not yet. So, how can it do as a floater? That should convert. Not saying it will. How would it do, say, attached to the rock or something? That's the other question. But I'm not going to put a bunch of plants in here yet because it's not ready. I want the tank to be cycled before I really start planting it and, put in the fish and things. But I can't do any of that until it finishes its cycle. But that's kind of the idea. We'll see how plants do as the tank ramps up and how they do compared to the low-tech tanks. So, I've got test tubes to clean. Yep, I've definitely got test tubes to clean, so I'll talk to you next time.